Hey guys, I'm Kara and welcome to Fish Biz 101. In this series it's going to be 4 videos and we're going to be teaching you guys how to successfully set up a freshwater community planted tank. For this week's video we'll be going over the basics of setting up your tank and decorating. We will be using the Aqueon Ascent tank. It's around 20 gallons and it's a good tank for beginners because it gives you enough room to play with different types of fish and plants, and it also has the light and the filter that comes with it. The first thing you want to do is find a spot for your aquarium in your house and something sturdy for it to sit on. We have a custom-made stand for it here. Next you're going to want to fill your aquarium with water. I've already done that here. And then if you're using city water, you definitely want to make sure that you condition your water. I would recommend Seachem Prime. This is going to get rid of the chlorine in your water. Next you're going to want to add your heater. You're going to need a 100-watt heater if you're doing a 20-gallon like me. I've chosen the Aquatic heater, but there's a lot of different ones you can use. Once you have it installed in your aquarium, you're going to want to set the temperature to 78 degrees if you are doing a tropical community like me. Alright, so now I'm going to install the heater. Alright, so I've installed the heater, making sure that it was suction cupped to the back, and I just put it behind the filter, kind of hiding it so I didn't have to see it, and then all you do is just plug it in. So now we're going to put the filter in. I've already got the filter that comes with the tank installed, and that's just a little internal filter. This filter is good, however, it's best to double up on filtration. The reason we do this is to keep your tank as stable as possible, and it's also going to keep your tank clear. So to do this, I'm going to add a small little sponge filter to the tank. So to install a sponge filter, all you need are 3 things. You need your sponge filter, you need some airline tubing, and then you need an air pump. For a little more information on these things, here is my assistant Chuck.
So for advanced filtration with the Ascent aquarium, sponge filter is involved. This is just one of the many that we stock here at Fishy Business. But just to give you an idea, this sits in the corner. It'll match the black background of the tank, so you won't really see it very much with the exception of some bubbles coming up this tube. And all your bacteria, you'll have a bigger surface area for that with the sponge filter. Reason for this is it's going to be able to house more fish and animals. How are you going to run the sponge filter? You're going to do it with this handy dandy little Aqueon air pump. We always go with a larger pump than whatever is recommended or for the gallonage of tank. This allows for better performance. It also allows for, in the case of the sponge filter, more surface area for you to achieve better results with the tank. But that's all you need.
Alright, so now I'm going to install the filter. So to do this, your sponge filter comes with this sponge thing here, and then like a little clear tube. You're going to take the airline tubing and stick it down through the tube and then attach the end of the air line to the sponge filter. And then once you do that, you're going to attach the plastic tube. Then you're going to stick the filter into your aquarium wherever you like it. Make sure to squeeze the filter once it's under the water. That's going to fill the sponge up with water so that it doesn't float. Alright, so now I'm going to get my air pump out. Installing an air pump is really easy. All you have to do is plug it in, and then you take the other end of the airline tube and you plug it into this little tube thing on the back, and then your sponge filter will be working. Alright, so now our sponge filter is installed and it's working. Alright, now it's time for the fun part. We're going to decorate the tank. So I've chosen this piece of driftwood. I think it looks kind of like a tree, so that's what I'm going to go for. And then I got a bucket of dragonstone. I think I got about 10 pounds. Alright, so I'm going to decorate this tank how I would like it to look, but there's no rules for decorating a tank. You can decorate a tank however you like with anything you'd like. Even though I'll be using driftwood and rocks for this aquarium, there are many different types of decorations you can use. Here's Chuck showcasing some of them.
In the bins here at Fishy Business, we have all manner of rock for freshwater tanks. We have volcanic rock, we have slate, We have this dragon rock, which is some of my very favorite. Dragon rock is a real porous rock that has a lot of really cool ridges and shapes. It doesn't take much to design something really cool. And if you want the honest truth, in a smaller aquariums, this dragon rock is actually just in and of itself cool by itself. Maybe driftwood is more your take on doing a tank, and a small tank like the Ascent, just something simple like this buried in the ground against the black would look really, really cool. We have lots of different types of driftwood at Fishy Business in different shapes for different purposes. So that may be something really cool. It may happen that what you want for the Ascent is a small decoration, a resin decoration of some kind. At Fishy Business, we have tons of different ideas for that as well.
I'm going to put the driftwood in first, but since it's not waterlogged, it floats. And in order to keep it sunk so that it can get waterlogged, I'm going to use this rock to kind of weigh it down. I'm hoping that it'll be sank in like a week or less, and then I'm going to take the rock out. So my hardscape is in, and now I can add the plants. For the plants, I got some Anubias and some cryptocorns. These are really good beginner plants because they're good with low light, which this tank basically just has low light LEDs. And then I also got a big tub of Java moss, and I'm going to attach this Java moss to the tree to kind of make it look like leaves. And Java moss is a really good beginner plant because it'll provide shelter for your fish, and it grows relatively fast. To put these potted plants in your aquarium, you're going to want to take them out of the pot, and you don't need this. And then you'll break open this foam, and you're going to pull it back, and then you've just got the plant with the roots, and then you're only going to bury the roots and not the rhizome. The rhizome is that thick part right here that the leaves are sprouting out of, and the reason we're not burying it is because that's how it gets light. And this is really only for Anubias plants or Java ferns, so for the cryptocorns we're just going to bury the roots, but for the Anubias, that is the rule we need to follow. Now I'm going to put in the plants. I'm going to add the moss in now, and this is really easy. All I'm going to do is just grab a clump of it and stick it into the driftwood. It's just going to get stuck there, and over time it's naturally going to attach to the driftwood and grow on top of it. Okay, I have finished my design, and I might play with it a little bit more as the weeks go on. I might add more plants, adjust them, but for now I'm really happy with it, and I'm going to let it grow in a little bit. Next week we're going to be talking about what kind of fish you can add, when you can add them, water chemistry, and cycling. Since this is a planted tank, we're going to make sure we only leave our lights on for about 7 to 8 hours. This is to give the plants an adequate amount of light, but it's also not too much, and that we're going to get a bunch of algae growth, which is really hard to control once you've got it. That's about it for this week. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be going over your first fish, water chemistry, and cycling next week. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, give this video a like if you liked it, follow us on Instagram, and give our Facebook page a like. I will see you guys next week.